Welcome to the blog, where the Earth gives up its metals, its minerals, and apparently its trade policy opinions. This is a blog for browsing mining, mineral processing, and metals info.
Today's episode comes from Nanthakumar Victor Emmanuel, PEng, and it covers a significant shift in how China and Africa are structuring their trade relationship, and what that might mean for African industry.
Let's start with the zero-tariff expansion and what it actually unlocks for African exporters. The core question here is whether a tariff policy can do more than just move goods, whether it can actually reshape what African economies produce and how they fit into global supply chains.
The Post frames the stakes clearly from the outset. China has expanded its zero-tariff policy to include all 53 African nations with which it maintains diplomatic relations, opening new opportunities for African exports and industrial development at a time when global trade is increasingly affected by protectionist policies.
So the timing is the thing. While other major economies are pulling up the drawbridge, this policy is explicitly moving the other direction. And that contrast is the whole story.
The numbers back that up. Bilateral trade between China and Africa hit a record $348 billion in 2025. Chinese imports from Africa reached $123 billion, with year-on-year growth of 5.4%. The policy took effect immediately. A shipment of 24 tons of South African apples was the first to clear customs under the new arrangement in Shenzhen.
24 tons of apples as the symbolic opening act of a continental trade realignment? History is rarely glamorous.
Previously, tariff-free access applied to 33 of Africa's least developed countries. The expansion adds 20 more economies, Kenya, Egypt, and Nigeria among them, covering products like Kenyan coffee and avocados, cocoa from Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana, and South African citrus and wine, which had faced tariffs of 8 to 30%. Scholars from Tsinghua University and the University of International Business and Economics argue the real prize is what follows. Tariff-free access could pull manufacturing and processing investment into Africa, helping the continent move beyond raw material exports toward finished goods.
That shift, from digging it up to actually processing it, is exactly the kind of industrial development this blog exists to track.
The arrangement runs for an initial 2-year period, while longer-term agreements are developed under the China-Africa Economic Partnership for Shared Development Framework. African Union Commission chairperson Mahmoud Ali Yusuf called the move timely and described it as a gesture of solidarity.
Trade policy as solidarity, a framing worth sitting with, whatever you make of it. Raw materials leaving a continent, finished goods coming back, that gap is where industrialization either happens or doesn't.
Whether the investment follows the tariff relief is the question the next few years will answer. We'll be watching.